I'm Katie Morton.
And I'm Jennifer Palmer.
We are both intuitives, energy healers, and together we are divinely guided.
And every Thursday night, well, most Thursday nights, we get together with you on Facebook and other platforms to connect with your spirit guides and loved ones to receive messages for you.
Yeah, so our regulars, I'm sure you all know the drill. We have our first question in already. If you're new, all you do is you type a question into the comments. We have a chat software. It all feeds into one place. So it might look like we're skipping you. We're not.
We're not.
We just answer questions in the order that we receive them into our software. So bear with us.
And also, too, a lot of times you might ask personal questions, but when we get guidance, it's often for many people, and it's usually higher guidance. We're not going to tell you to leave somebody or to quit a job or anything like that. It really is higher guidance to help you work through whatever it is you're needing.
Right. So if somebody else asks a question, listen, because there might be something in there for you.
All right.
Okay, let's get to it. Because, wow, we're coming in fast. Okay, Laura Ernaway says, hi, ladies. Any messages for me?
Hey, Laura.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it means yet, but I'm just going to say it because I feel like Katie might be getting some things. I just saw like a bunch of stars in the night sky, and then I heard it's all moving so fast.
Okay, well, I'll tell you, the sense I weirdly saw was sort of like stars and stripes, like it looked like a flag.
Oh, interesting.
So, and my sense of it was the American flag, but I know there's lots of flags that have stars and stripes, not just ours, but.
I don't know if you've been worried about some things, but I feel a sense of it. I'm kind of hearing it, but it's more of a feeling of, don't fret. Like everything is falling into place. Things are good, better than you might think they are. But I also feel like at times you do think that they're going pretty well. So I'm not really sure exactly what the message is there. I'm just telling you what I'm getting and feeling. Maybe you're back and forth on it. I'm not sure. But it feels that don't stress out about what you're seeing or feeling or whatever this is about. And I think you know what this might be about, but don't worry about it. The stressors are coming to an end some point soon.
And what I was just seeing is like over your heart center, it looked like there was strings, like you would see the inside of a guitar, like, you know how there's like a little hole in the guitar and then there's strings over it. That's what it looked like, but it was in the heart center. And it felt like or maybe I'm getting it mixed up, but it was the idea of, I don't quite know how to play this right. And also the fear of other people can pluck the heartstrings, and I'm not always in control of this process of the music my heart makes, or like the emotions that come out of me. But I do feel like you're learning. It's like you're learning to play your own heart.
And then I just saw a sun, and I feel like a lot of this has to do with the ascension process and the things that we're all going through collectively. I think that that's a lot of what's going on. And, we're going through so much right now on planet Earth. This place is a little crazy.
It's a weird place to be.
But it's exactly what we need, and it's what we need to go through collectively and personally. And we are going to get to the other side of this, and things are going to smooth out. Don't fret about it. Don't worry about it. Hold the faith. Hold the love. That's the most important thing, is to hold that love vibration and to really have faith in our fellow human beings, that we're all going to come back to a higher place and be able to see each other again and care about each other again and love each other and appreciate ourselves and what we've been through.
And I'm also hearing and more unity and more of a shared reality as opposed to all the divisiveness. And that was my dog's snorting.
I love that.
She purrs.
And I know I'm not getting anything else. Are you getting anything else for her?
No, that's all I'm getting.
All right. Hope that helps, Laura.
Okay. Maybe.
Danielle Finch, good morning from Melbourne, Australia.
Well, good morning,
morning.
from Australia. Awesome.
And good evening to those near us.
Yeah.
Thank you for catching with us.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
So Jocelyn Moreno says, will my dad make it to my wedding in August?
I do feel like there are different timelines here. I'm not getting a straight yes or no. I feel like I'm getting more of a percentage. I feel like it's a lower chance that, to come than that he would come. Maybe like 20-25% is what I'm hearing. I think it just really depends on the timeline and how things kind of come to. I feel like there might be 2 or 3 different possibilities here. What are you getting about it?
I would think that they wouldn't tell us, basically, that they will not tell us timing. They won't tell us that, basically. They won't give us that answer. But what they do want you to do is to work on, I think, any sort of maybe closure you feel you would need to get, one way or another. It's because sometimes we can get hung up on emotionally needing things to happen a certain way, and so it's detaching from needing things to go a certain way, or to feeling like I need this outcome to feel good, and instead work on feeling really good no matter what the outcome is.
Yeah, and the thing is, your wedding is a beautiful moment in your life. It's probably going to be one of the ones that stands out the most to you in anything that happens to you, maybe outside of having kids. It's one of the best things that will ever happen, those most important moments. And no matter what, your dad will be there one way or another, energetically or not. But make sure you're not holding that in a space where it could ruin your day. And to the point where it's like every time you would have an anniversary, that's what you would remember. You want to make sure that you're really holding the space. And I feel like you're doing that. But if for some reason it didn't work out and your dad was not able to attend, I do feel like there is a tendency to hold it too close. And yeah, it's an important day and we want those important people to be there with us. But the most important person to be there with you is the one that you're marrying, and everybody else is just a nice addition to the celebration. If it was only you and the person you're marrying, that's really all you need. And everyone else can be there spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and hopefully physically. But
Yeah, I'm just hearing to make peace with however it's going to be.
And this reminds me too of something that often comes through. We have a spectrum, and if you've listened to us before, you probably have heard this, between 0 and 10. And let's say 0 is you're coming at things from a very egoic perspective, and 10 is you're coming at it from a very spiritual, soulful perspective. It's that 0 side of you that would need the presence of somebody physically to be present and experience it and witness it physically. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's where that's coming from. It's the egoic need to have that physical presence. On the spiritual side of things, you would be more in tune to, the more emotional connection, the feeling of course he's here. He's always here. We're multidimensional beings, and it is. And whether he can make it physically or not, it's almost, I don't want to say it's irrelevant, but it's almost irrelevant. And the most important thing is that we're also very connected in this beautiful day of love and celebration. And Go ahead.
Oh, I was just hearing also, my guides will say this to me sometimes of like the wherever you go, there you are concept is basically this is showing up, this very triggering, of course, event is showing up in your life because it's here to show you multiple areas of your life where this, if you can get whatever it is you're supposed to get from this circumstance, it's going to serve you in many, if not all areas of your life. It's going to help you to level up. And when we have these catalysts that are so difficult, there's always so much potential gain that we get out of the experience if we can process it in the way that our soul is meant to process it.
Yeah, I was getting something along the same lines. And anytime we're given a challenge, whatever that challenge might be, and this is for all of us, and sometimes we really nail it, and sometimes all of us really mess it up, and but we always have a choice when there's a difficulty or something that is showing up, and we're not real happy, or what are you doing here? And we have a choice. We can embrace it and love it and get what we need from it, or we can be mad at it, angry with it. And so I do feel like there's a good possibility that he could make it, and but there's also the possibility that he won't. They aren't going to give a yes or a no to this, and I think just some of it depends, how different the different players involved, how they make their choices and what's coming.
And I'm also hearing and being okay with the uncertainty of that.
Mm-hmm. So I just asked if there was anything else, and I heard yes, there's one more thing. Well, they said two more things, but it all goes together. Anytime you find yourself in a space of fear or worry about any of it, make a choice to get it back to a place of love and that hope and that faith that everything is working out as it's meant to. But that always comes from a place of love, and you can't have that with fear. So make sure you're checking yourself and really letting all of that go. And I feel like you do a lot of this a lot of the time, but there's moments. I think they want you to catch those moments. I think that's it. All right, Jocelyn, I hope that helps.
Yeah, I hope so too. So Carrie Goulet says, "Hi, lovely ladies." Well, hello, lovely lady. Any messages from my guides today? Okay.
While we're tuning in, if you guys like what you're seeing, if you're getting something out of this, feel free to share it, join our Facebook member group. I don't know.
All the things. Go to divinelyguided.tv and sign up for Soul Growth Group.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Carrie. So what I was feeling into over there, Carrie, is like, I think that you're doing really well in all areas, if not, maybe we all have some things we have to work on, but it feels like you're really, really nailing it. And deep down, you know that. And yet, there's still like little pieces of, am I missing something? Am I really doing it right? Like a little bit of need for validation. And what I was getting is, first of all, I'll go ahead and validate you. Yes, you are doing things right, but also learning to not seek that external validation and to get used to validating yourself. We do, life is confusing, and sometimes we do just need, not saying our stream is having connection issues. Anyway. So that's it, Carrie. It's the idea of like 9 times out of 10, you want to validate yourself, and to not need it to come from outside of you, because while it's not, cheerleaders are nice. It's like at the end of the day, you have to know yourself when you're in integrity and when you're not in integrity. And so, really learning that skill of self validation, when maybe you're not doing it right, and then self adjust.
And I'm also, they were bringing me to the heart center. I know you've been really working on the heart center and healing really old wounds and things that have occurred in previous lifetimes and things. I know that. But what they were showing me is, well, first, I think that you're about ready to, I heard unlock. There's like some unlocking that's happening, that you're accessing newer and greater aspects of the heart center. But I also feel like, to not just think about it like, oh, as soon as my heart chakra is open, then I'll be, okay. It's an ever unfolding depth that I think there must be a loved one here. Feel it. But there's an ever unfolding depth of the moving deeper and deeper into who you are and what is this part of you. So try not to think about it as, oh, well, I just need to get my heart center and heal all that. And think about it as the journey in deeper and deeper and deeper into it. I just feel like there's so much to explore. And most of us are barely tapping, the very tip of it. I asked if there's anything else, and the only other thing I'm getting is just the idea of forgiveness. Think about, and I think that helps unlock some things. Who is it that you still need to forgive, even if it's little things? I feel like it's easier for you to forgive the bigger things and maybe a little bit harder for whatever reason for some of the littler things, especially if it keeps adding up. And get in there and just explore that a little bit to see what that's about. And all I can tell you too is I know there's like some really old Sheena Easton song in my head, but I don't even know the words, so I'm not even going to attempt to sing it because, well, first you don't really want me to try because we haven't had our voice lessons yet.
I want you to try.
I
won't make you.
I don't know the words. If I knew the words, maybe, but I don't know the words.
Okay, well, don't tempt
So
me
we're not going there
to figure it out.
But it's a Sheena Easton song, so I don't know. Maybe look up Sheena Easton and see. It's a really old one. I think probably from the 80s or the early 90s. I don't know. I think it's 80s. All right.
Okay.
But it keeps playing in my head, so it must be for you.
Yeah. So the other thing I was just getting to on the forgiveness of all the little things, especially the ones that can pile up, is also the idea too of sometimes that's a boundary issue as well. Like when we especially if it's somebody who's if it's the little things that are piling up from somebody who's like a repeat offender, and then it starts to build resentment. Sometimes it's because we got to shut it down. Like you got to say something and you got to put your foot down and be like, you know what? I know that I kept letting this thing slide. Like maybe I thought it was a one-off, or maybe I thought it wasn't a big deal, but it is a big deal. And I don't want you to do it anymore. Like you need to stop doing that. Sometimes we just really
There's boundaries.
Right. Sometimes it's like it's piling up and it's causing resentment because they're crossing a line, and we, for whatever reason, we want to be nice. We don't want to upset someone. We know they're not going to take the feedback well. Like there's a million reasons why we let it slide. And I am just feeling on some of these things, like there's a few conversations that should be had of like, no, I'm not doing this, or like knock it off, or please, like, I know I didn't say anything, so it seemed like it's okay, but it's not, or however it needs to come out, depending on who is receiving the message and how they'll best understand the words coming out of your mouth. Sometimes it has to be said, knock it off, or sometimes it just has to be like, oh, hey, you're standing on my coat. Please don't.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny. I've seen so many people struggle with this, especially in the spiritual community. We don't like ugliness within ourselves, and so we either hide it or we run from it. Not enough of us face it and really look at it. And those who do often think it's okay to just be jerks sometimes, and that's not really okay either. So I think, the challenge that we often face in the spiritual community is learning how to love unconditionally and forgive and have appropriate boundaries. And what are appropriate boundaries? And sometimes that's always hard to determine because we have woundings and resistance and crazy things that show up for us because someone's doing something that actually may not be that bad, and then we get upset, or they're doing something that's terrible and we don't know how to react, or we don't even think it's that bad, or
or sometimes, because we always say, look, if you're triggered, you got to look at yourself and you got to deal with your stuff. But at the same time, sometimes you're triggered because somebody did something that's unacceptable and they need to be called out. So it's really trying to figure out the difference between when it's your wounding and your baggage and when you're really supposed to say, like, hey, Buster, seriously, knock it off. It's not okay. Sometimes that's just the answer, And it's tricky, it can be hard to know the difference. So sometimes that's, we go to each other for guidance. You've got resources too in that department of asking for help.
Well, the other thing too, a lot of times what happens, things will happen. Somebody will do something or cross a boundary or do something that just makes you really upset, and you know that they're in the wrong, but you're still really triggered. It's still about you. That is showing up because there is something you need to learn from it, or something you need to grow from with it, or something. It's always showing up for you. So whatever it is, look at it as, this is showing up for me. Why is this showing up for me? Is it I need to learn better boundaries? Is it I'm way too triggered by this action and they're not even doing anything wrong, really? Or what is it? Or I need to forgive this person because I'm still holding that grudge or that resentment, whatever it is. But the answer is always within. And then you can figure out what you need to do about it.
Yeah. The reason I put it that way is I've had the very strange experience of having my boundaries crossed and then getting angry about it and then thinking, oh no, I got angry. Like, it must be my problem. I must have something to heal. And my guides are like, no, get pissed. Set your boundaries. So it's like, I am taught sometimes that way. So, just throwing it out there. Like, we always have to question. Typically, I'm going to say like 99% of the time, it's what she said.
No, but it's also what you said, because
it's showing
she's being shown and taught.
Don't get stepped on.
Don't get stepped on. And then that there are appropriate boundaries that have to be laid with certain people at certain times. And,
and that's the thing. Anger is confusing for a spiritual person. So then I wind up being confused.
Well, but the thing is too, is I think that anger it's a tool at times. I think we're meant to get beyond it, but we're in process, and we're always in process. And I think that you can get to a place of drawing boundaries and being where you need to be without having the anger be the fuel for it. But part of the problem is a lot of times that we're not in that place where we can naturally access that. We feel bad, or where we don't like the ugliness, or it feels scary to create a boundary. Maybe our feelings of self-worth are connected to that person's approval, whatever it is. And then sometimes the anger has to be a part of it to get you into that space.
Or because some people, they cannot hear you unless you're angry. And that's been my sense of it, is that I personally, hey, I'd forgive and forget. I'd bury the hatchet. I really would. But the guides fuel me and they get me fired up, because the only way the boundary can be set in my situation is to express it with anger. It's the only way that they can hear it and process it. Otherwise, the boundary doesn't exist for them. So,
yeah, I feel like we're going beyond Carrie's. I want to make sure I got that right. Carrie's, because I feel like we're speaking to a lot of people right now.
Yeah.
But the other thing is if that pattern keeps showing up and you feel like you have to keep drawing those boundaries and you have to keep getting angry about it, or being in defensive mode or something around it, there's a reason for that pattern. Look beyond what's happening to you and deflecting it or pointing at it or whatever it is. Definitely go within, because there's a reason why it's showing up. And that's where the real gold is. for what's happening. And all of it's a process. And I feel like they're pulling back. I don't think there's anything else.
I think that's it.
Okay.
So
All right.
I think that was for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay. So Faye. All right. She says, hello, Jenn and Katie. Blessing. Blessing back at you, lady.
Hey
Any
there.
message from guides? Okay, Faye. I feel like you feel good, peaceful. What I'm getting is you feel like you're finally on the other side of something, like a turbulent time, and that you're reaping rewards of the hard work and the processing and the growth. But there's also the, oh my God, did I really? Is the other shoe gonna drop? And I'm hearing no, it's not. I mean, it's, I always have to have the caveat, well, you know, it's planet Earth, but on whatever this is, it feels like mission complete.
Yeah, and I saw a vision. I wasn't sure what it meant, and it makes total sense now with what you were saying. It was like, it was you as a ghost. I don't know how else to describe it, but it was like the energy of you. And it's like the wind was blowing, and it's like part of your energy was like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it was kind of like moving back. Like the wind was in your face and blowing some of your energy backwards. So it was like kind of blurred as it moved through you, if that makes sense. And I was like, does she need peace and relaxation or something? And they're like, no. And then I got the sense and feeling that you were feeling the peace and relaxation. And then you said what you said. So I'm going to take that as confirmation.
I just heard bask in it, enjoy it, and ride it higher. Like get out of if there's any niggling or worrying going on, like try to kibosh that and just keep moving up with it.
Yeah. And I heard kind of the same thing. It was be in the moment, like really enjoy it. I just saw a birthday cake. So I don't know if somebody's birthday is coming up. It might be someone who's passed, like a birthday celebration, or they know that there was a birthday celebration coming up. I saw the number 3, so I don't know what that has to do with. Not really getting anything else.
Yeah, I'm not either.
I don't know. Faye, hopefully that helps,
yeah,
because
I
I
think
feel like
that's
they've
it.
pulled back. I guess you've gotten what you need. So
Okay, I just heard that is it.
I'm not getting anything else.
Okay.
It's quick end.
Yay.
Okay. Rachel. All right, Rachel Rose Farber. Any messages for me tonight? Thanks.
Okay. So, all right, I'm just gonna see what I'm hearing that like get started with some physical detox work, and what they were showing me was this kidney cleanse supplement that we take. Do you know the name of it?
I'd have to go look it up. I don't remember it.
We can look it up and let you know later, but it's just a, I don't know, kidney cleanse supplement. But that's what they were showing me. I just heard purification and drinking more water than you're used to.
Yeah, there's definitely a sense of things feeling overburdened in the body. I'm also hearing a lot of vitamin C or very high antioxidant, kind of way higher than you might be used to or even think would be possible. It just feels like you're sitting there and antioxidant powder is being poured all over you. That's see. I don't think I'm getting anything else. I think that's all I'm getting. Thought I had something like a picture of your dog for a moment, but it's not going any deeper. Yeah, I think that's the big thing.
I think so too.
All right. Whitney!
All right. Whitney says, "Hey, ladies, love you. Looking beautiful. Thank you, darling. Would love whatever comes through for you." Okay. All right, I'll just show you what I saw, which was you like feeling pretty peaceful, but there was just like these sort of niggling concerns. And then you went and sat in meditation and you brushed them off. And then this beautiful white light came in and shot down and filled you up. And then all of you bloomed like a lotus.
That's funny because I was getting a sense of going deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper within, but they're like, that's not the point. So I'm not really sure what the message was, but it was just this feeling going deeper and deeper and deeper. But I think the point is to blossom and grow and not be so, which I don't feel like you necessarily are, but I think that's maybe how I was taking the message.
Yeah, and I
feel like
think
there's so much more.
meditation is the tool. I think that I don't know. It feels to me, honestly, like meditate more. And I'm hearing 20 minutes sitting in silence, no music or tools or anything like that. Just observing and clearing it all away.
Yeah, just the blank presence. I think, yeah, that's awesome. I'm definitely getting that too.
And I am hearing the mantra, and we talked about this briefly before, but it's the idea of just saying every once in a while, like you don't have to mantra the way through the meditation, but every once in a while just saying I am. So it might like 5 minutes of silence might go by and then you just say I am. And to just be. And so to get into that practice of not needing anything, not needing approval, not needing to know, am I doing this right? It's just the being in the silence and just being. And I heard that's exactly it, because it's not going deeper. It's just, just being. And to be able to be comfortable with that. Of not needing music or anything else.
Yeah, there's so many different types of meditation, but a lot of them take you outside of yourself and you're going and explore, or you're listening to music and the music sets you up for a certain type of feeling or explorative experience. But that's exactly, I think, what they were trying to show me. Just really exploring who you are within, but not like looking at the heart chakra or anything like that. It's like the I am. I think that's perfect. Beautiful.
Cool. I was just hearing that as it, but let me know.
Okay. Yeah, I was trying to listen. I'm not getting anything.
All right.
Angela Litchfield.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, ladies. I hope you are doing well. Any messages for me, please?
Cool. So, Angela, I feel like let me know if this resonates because I don't know what's going on in your life, but it feels like you should be doing more healings for other people. You have a really special gift. Um, I don't know, taking the time to do that, explore that.
I was trying to get information from your guides, but I think it's coming down to a loved one. And it feels like, at first I was like, is this a fatherly presence? And it feels more like not father, but maybe grandfather, but it's definitely masculine. I saw what looked like an older type of briefcase, like almost like a fold-over bag. I'm not sure. It was really quick. Looked like, like a leather carrying case of some sort, maybe a briefcase. I feel like they want to talk, well, in their way of saying it's coming through is almost like work related type things. But I do think it has to do with mission, your purpose and everything that you're doing here. I can't tell if I'm trying to get more information about, like, are you already doing things for your mission? Do you even know what this is? I'm not getting clear guidance about that, but it does feel like lighting the fire. There's something about lighting the fire and getting more motion into it, really getting into action. And it's hard if you don't know what it is. It's hard to do anything because you're like, I don't even know what it is. But if you don't know what it is, step into anything that makes it feel like you're being of service and doing something to help others that brings you joy. That's one way of stepping into it. If you do know what it is, then maybe it's just more about getting more out there, taking more action, helping more people, thinking bigger. And this is coming through. I think this is for a lot of people, maybe all of us. A lot of times when we start doing mission work, we tend to think small. We think very local. Maybe if I just help a few people, I'm a little afraid to be too big or to be seen as the weirdo or whatever it is, we talk to loved ones and guides and we have crystal skulls, we're a little weird.
Little bit.
and that's okay, because we're helping a lot of people and it feels good. But you have to get past that, but we often limit ourselves, or as Katie likes to say, we keep a lid on, and we need to just like take the lid off and really allow for us to be as big as we can be, whatever that means, whether it means not very big at all, or maybe it means huge. Who knows what that is, but we need to be willing to be big. And my version of big might be different than your version of big, which is probably different than your version of big, but it's all big for us. Stretch and grow and get as big as you can. And don't limit anything.
Yeah, and when we step on the path of the soul's mission of learning to overcome those hurdles and the obstacles that we feel are in the way of serving, because I think a lot of times what happens is people just think, well, if I'm serving, it should be easy then. Things should come easy. And wouldn't God or the guides or powers that be just clear the field for me to serve. No, it's like that's when all the challenges, the fun starts.
or whatever other word you want to throw in there.
Right, of having to heal our blocks
Yes.
and all the things that are in the way to serving in whatever is a stretch for us. It's about that healing process and overcoming all the ways that we get in our own way. And what I have seen happen to people's detriment is when they come across the obstacles or the fears or whatever, they just think, oh, well, that's a sign, and they back off of the whole thing. Or a really popular one I've noticed is the staying in the confusion and the indecision about what they should do. And then people can ride that till they die, just of never deciding one way or another. And it's like, well, I couldn't decide. So yeah, there's no cookies in heaven for that one. So it's like, just figure it out, do something. One of my guys just came in and said, there's always cookies in heaven. Come on. Okay. There's always cookies in heaven. Don't worry. They won't withhold the cookies.
Just the stomach to enjoy them in the taste buds.
Fair enough. One of my guys, but we can pretend,
Yeah, I think that's it.
I think that's it. Okay. Douglas Henninger says, hello, would my guides have any knowledge they would offer me? Okay.
So I'm not sure what this is necessarily referring to, except I'm thinking maybe it has to do with just spiritual understandings. And, and I also feel like this is for a lot of us too, because we all have a foundation through which we operate from, and that we see the world and understand things, like this filter we get things through. I don't think we can necessarily help that, but it feels like except that, things are going to come in and be distorted. We all have the distortions, but then also be in wonderment about it and explore it and question it. Everything that comes in, everything you think question. Some things that you think are true. It's about as true as you can get it. There's not much more to understand about it, but I think the vast majority of things that we think we know like this much. And there is vast information that we have no idea about, that would really change our minds. And so the idea is to be comfortable where you are and to validate, what you think you may know, but then also question it and be in the curiosity of, well, what else could be true, or what is a greater understanding of what's going on. And don't necessarily stand in the knowing, stand in the question.
Yeah, I was getting something similar, and just that we all need to have the understanding that there are, like, at the root of it, like, all of life is an illusion. Like,
I know.
Literally all of
it.
Yeah, I mean, literally all of it. So even spiritual wisdom, everything, that the entire universe, and even all these other beings, like we are, even the guides, ETs, angels, everything is a sort of like an imagination, a creation. And there is only one thing, which is God, and everything else is sort of this multifaceted fractal.
We're a daydream of God.
Yeah. Image of it. So it's like, what is even real? Yeah. So really keeping a massively open mind and holding really loosely to we all have to hold on very loosely to what we think is true.
But that said, there are certain things that come through and can help us wherever we're at, can help us get to the next step or the next space. And Yeah, it's interesting. I often think about, what is ultimate truth? Because so many of us, I think it's more of an egoic need to know truth. What is the truth? What is the answer? It is either this or it is this. Well, my guides often say, well, it's both, but they're two opposite things. And you're like, well, how was that true? Well, it's more of an egoic need to have fact or to stand in, well, this must be it. Let go of any of that you might have and allow for whatever the next step is. And most people don't go from, like I'm going to say a baby's version of understanding to a college graduate or to someone who's like, been there, done that, and lived for 80 decades, whatever. I don't know. But, it's like we have a process that we have to get through. And what someone knows when they're 1,000 years living versus somebody who's only been around for 10, there's a big gap in experience and understanding. And if that really high level understanding comes in and you're not ready for it, it's not going to hit. It's not going to make sense. And it might even just blow your mind. And so we always just have to kind of aim up, keep aiming up, keep aiming, and keep working. To get a vast understanding as much as we can, or assume that wherever we're at is it. There's always more to know. And, a lot of times we're going to learn things that make us think, well, what I thought 2 years ago falls flat. It's nothing. And that's not true either. And, because that really helped you then. It served you then. So it was, in a way, true. But then how do you move beyond it to get to a broader and more wise truth than that? And it just kind of feels like you don't ever stop challenging yourself to keep exploring and understanding a greater truth or a broader truth. I'm not getting anything else.
I think that's it.
Okay.
All right. The sun is going to set in 30 minutes. My phone is informing all of us. Okay, showing Nicole.
Hey, lady. All right. Good evening. I love the colors, ladies. I want to get info from my guides about my twin flame.
Ooh, exciting.
All right.
All right.
Okay, I feel like they want to go kind of high level with this. And they want to talk about like the purpose of twin flames and the meeting. And, it's easy to get really locked into the idea of a twin flame relationship. And when it can work out, it's amazing and beautiful. But it's not an easy relationship to come to fruition because so much growth needs to happen for both parties. And it's a special bond. It's a special relationship. But the idea of it happening, it takes two. It takes two to tango. And both partners, both twins need to be facing each other and willing to do the work and on their soul's mission for it to happen. And if any of that isn't happening, it won't work. And because it is such a special relationship. And I've had a lot of people come in and get healing around the heartache and the heartbreak around it all. Not that that's necessarily going to happen with you, but it does happen with most twin flames. It seems to be a pattern that they follow, where you've got, one twin flame who's really awake to whatever's happening in the relationship and understands like the process and what's going on. And they tend to be more the chasers. And you have the other one who's like, what is this? No. And they run. And then you got this one go, wait, no, run. And so,
come back.
The goal of the chaser is to go within and validate themselves and heal the abandonment wounds and things like that. The runner, their goal is to face themselves and stop running and face their fears and everything else. And, there's fears on both sides. There's a lot of facing that has to be done within themselves and then to each other. And then generally speaking, then they can move forward. Not that every twin flame relationship seems to go through that. That seems to be the big picture of what often happens, the signature of that relationship. And I've seen so many people going through that. But the goal is to really find yourself. And so much growth happens that you have to get to a point, if you are on either side, really, but especially if you're the person who's the chaser role, you have to get to a point where you love yourself so much and you've grown so much and you're so secure in yourself, it really doesn't matter. And that, from what I've seen, is so difficult because that person gets obsessed with the other twin, and it makes for a really difficult ride. And the idea that you need to turn around and let it go and be okay with it, and that you're going to be okay no matter what, it's all good, then let's go. And then you've gotten your lesson. And then that seems to be when, at least on your side of the street, things are good. So
Well, and also, oftentimes with twins, oftentimes the chaser is a healer, and it's somebody who is meant to develop their skills, often as an intuitive and as a healer. That's very common. And the image I saw of you was like as this being of light, and it was like this beautiful, heavenly, like white, floaty energy, and you were like in this sort of like Mother Mary Magdalene gown, and you were kind of like, like sending your energy out. So it's like the idea of developing, I feel, those skills also, that the mission work that you've come here to do as a soul, and on the path of a healer. And you are on that path, but it's like continuing that journey that you're already on, of taking it as far as you can, continuing to learn and develop the skills that you have, that you're doing great at. But elevating yourself to feeling really competent and confident in your skills by continuing to learn and practice, and to grow, and to work on other people as well, and to give your gifts to the world. And then then it's like, okay, then not that it's like, oh well, then who cares if it works out or not, but more or less that's really that's where you want to get to.
And nobody can teach you better about finding yourself and being on mission than that experience. And really being able to tune into who you are and what you're here for, and everything else really is just a part of the experience. It's not even a necessity. But that said, there's nothing like that twin flame relationship either. So that connection is really important. We've noticed for a lot of people in the community, it seems to be the time when a lot of those are coming together. So, I don't know. Not that every twin flame relationship is
not
difficult.
Meant to be. Well, or some aren't meant to be at all, and some are not difficult. So
yeah.
I just heard most of them are, though, meaning most of them are difficult.
And the other thing too, they want to say too, there's always different timelines involved. Both souls, I think, come here with the idea that they want to be together, and they're doing their best and in the highest timeline, and they all figure it out, and they come together pretty swiftly, and it works. But this is planet Earth, and it doesn't always go according to the highest plan. And just doing the best you can with wherever you're at any point in time, and knowing that with any kind of a twin, you're never going to be able to control that person, and all you can do is be what you need to be. And I feel like they also want me to talk about projection. I've also seen twins do things where they project their feelings onto the other person, and you're kind of mirrors to each other. And so it's important to more than ever to really be able to look within and look at what you're projecting onto them, and then heal it within yourself. And that really helps, I guess, really honor that relationship and that connection. And I just heard it's always an inside job. It's never about the other person, although sometimes it seems like it is. It's really more about, going within and looking and clearing up whatever is showing up in this crazy space called Earth. I hear that is all. Okay. Well, Shawnee Nicole, I hope that helps.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. Okay, Danielle Finch says, where are going to move to? So I'm assuming you're asking where you're going to move to. I don't know. I don't know if we can find that out for you, but we'll see what we see.
Pleiadia.
Right? Sorry, inside joke.
Please.
All right, they want me to mention that. So actually coming up now is going to be that cosmic time of the year when there's this sort of clear shot from the Pleiades to planet Earth. And there is going to be a lot of Pleiadian energy, this unconditionally loving, beautiful, high vibe energy basking over. Planet Earth will be basking in the Pleiadian energy. So enjoy that. I think the height of that portal might be May 23rd, something like that. So it's kind of coming up. But I think it's about like a 5 to 7 day window. So enjoy those beautiful energies that are incoming.
I'm not getting any specific information about where you're going to move
I didn't
to.
either. They showed me a map and then they threw a dart at it and they were like, I don't know. I was like,
thanks.
Okay,
so
thanks.
helpful. Yeah, I'm really not getting it. I do feel like I think it's just there's multiple possibilities. It's not that there's like one thing. I mean, here's the thing. So, a lot of times when we have these big changes, it could be different timelines based on different decisions and things like that. There's a lot of people involved and it's not just your decision. There's a lot of different things that go on. But not only that, it's like the different timelines and the different possibilities, the different people making decisions. But then there's also, like they're showing me, it's like it's like a linear thing, but then it's also like a broad thing. Like, like just, I don't know how to describe, it's like the axis. It's like, it's very multidimensional, I guess. And there's a lot of different possibilities. And it's not that they don't want to answer. It's that, well, I could give you one of 100 different possibilities. And the chances of that being accurate, would be pointless, really. So it's not about that. Think about the process. It's always about the process, my Lord. Always about the process. Oh, yeah. Well, we're not here for an end result. We're here really more for the process than anything. Although the end result is nice, but
yeah, the journey.
But I think also too, part of this process is about manifestation, and I'm hearing ding, ding, ding. They really want you to come around to that. So when you're thinking about where to move or where you're, because a lot of times we're like, where are we going to move? Show me what's best. And they're like, you show me what's best, and then you end up in some place you aren't happy with because you weren't really showing them what you wanted. And so you just kind of end up settling someplace or something like that. So I feel like they want you to get into a place of manifestation. It's maybe there's certain things you want about where you live. Maybe there's nice hiking nearby, or it's, a pool in your backyard, whatever it is. That's all nice. That's all fine and dandy. But to really get into that space of how you feel about it, do you feel wonderful walking into your home? Do you feel at peace? Does it feel like home? Does it feel like this is where you're supposed to be? Just be in that space with it and get into your imagination and really dive in. I feel like the particulars are less important than the emotion and the feeling of it feeling great. Liking the area and feeling like there's lots to do that you enjoy doing in that area. Because that vibration is what they're going to push you towards. So if you're vibrating that, they're going to give you the perfect match to the highest vibration that you're putting out there. So make sure you're doing that every day.
I just was here. They're like, yes, yes. Sorry, the guides are very excited about that. Great job, Jen.
Well, and I'm also like, I feel like they're saying, don't be afraid to kind of level up. I think a lot of times we think, well, this is in my price range. I'm just gonna kind of have to settle for, I don't know, this condo over here, whatever. There's this thing over here. It's not as big. Maybe I won't get as much space as I really would like, or whatever. Take a lid off. It's not like I'm gonna go from this 1-bedroom condo to a mansion, but so it has to be believable. But take the lid off and just don't try to necessarily imagine the particulars, but just get into that space of, wow, I didn't know I could be in a place like this. This is amazing. And just be in that feeling of it and be in that space. And then, you're pushing more towards that vibration. And then that's what can happen. So, don't be afraid to kind of level up in the feeling of how you're feeling about where you're living.
More dog snorts.
Oh, she's so cute. I love it. Okay. Danielle Finch, I'm not getting anything else. I think I'm being too distracted by these beautiful grunts.
But that's okay.
Oh
my goodness.
I asked if there was anything else, and I just saw an image of what I think might have been you, just kind of sitting. You were in prayer position, so you're just like praying, hands up near the heart. But it was also like visualizing and just being in that space of enjoying what's next and what you're trying to achieve with this move, and being very present with it. And so I just think that that's just what's next for you.
Yeah. And I think that's it. And I think that is it for us.
Oh my gosh,
week.
it is.
Yeah.
It's 8 o'clock. Holy cow.
So thanks everybody for joining us. Please go to divinelyguided.tv, check out more videos, and join our soul growth group. And we will see you next Thursday. Bye.
Right, bye,
In the
guys.
meantime, take off the lid. I don't know what that means for you, but go for it.
Yeah. Be all you can be.
That's right. Be all you can be.
All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Should I do it?
Sure.
All right. I'm doing it. Bye, guys.
No, you hang up.